Hey guys, welcome to my channel. For this video, I thought I'd do another fun little story time. So here it is, story time with Patrick. This one about a lovely time I spent at a cabin with my friend. So I hope you enjoy. So let me put a disclaimer out there to begin with. Yes, people camp. Yes, this is how some people do camp or enjoy a cabin or things like that. It's not how I enjoy cabins. That might consider me a city folk and not a country boy. But you know what? It's just how I am. So these are my own personal opinions. So don't hold them against me. Unless it's a Britney Spears song, Hold It Against Me. So let's get started. So my friend invited me up to her cabin. She was going to be going up alone for the weekend. How it is it's a family shared cabin property. There's a few other like RVs and little cabins on the property for the rest of the family, but it would be the main cabin that we'd be staying in, and it was just going to be her going up for the weekend alone for the entire weekend. So she invited me up. I'd be going up with her and her two dogs, and her fiance was going to be joining us for one evening, and then and a friend, and then he'd be gone, so it would just be us again. So we were planning for it. I asked her, is there any groceries you need me to pick up? No, it's fine, we're good, I've got stuff. Okay, great. And we went on our way up the next day to go up to the cabin. So we make it up there, and we had to open it up. So we opened up the cabin, and the minute I walk in, I feel the floor sink. It's not actually floor, it's that, I guess, what is it? It's that underwood that goes underneath flooring. So that's what part of the cabin was. So it was starting to bend and buckle and sink in. Also, they had a toilet with a sink at least, but no shower. And then the cabin was also full of religious symbols, because I guess the family or the grandmother is very religious. So there's religious symbols and religious signs everywhere. Again, not judging, just not my cup of tea. So then my friend says, oh, you can have the newer room, the newer remodeled room, which is a tiny room that literally you open the door and you fall onto the bed, because there's no other room for anything else except for the bed and a small dresser. And it's the newer room because it has the newest window in it, and it's covered in siding on the inside, but there's a gap in the siding that you can see that it used to be wallpaper. There were sheets and stuff, but there were also a lot of bugs in the room that I had to kill. Yeah. So I left everything in my bag. It was going to be just for the weekend anyway, so I thought it's going to be okay. It's fine. Calm down. You're making a bigger deal out of this than it needs to be. She was going to be staying in the sunroom that had a pull-out couch because she had her two dogs with her. So if they need to be let out in the middle of the night, she'd be able to just easily open the door to let them out. So that was going to be our sleeping arrangements for the weekend. So then what we decided to do was go outside. This was by the water, tons of trees everywhere, but the dock hadn't been put out yet, so we couldn't go down and swim or get on like a paddle boat or anything, because the paddle boat was also covered in rain water. And then also with this place, you could get no cell phone service signal at all. So that was fun. Also, there weren't really any games there except for cards and snakes and ladders and checkers. So we played some cards for most of the weekend, but it wasn't fun, all the games. I will say though, at least I did learn one new card game, and I do like card games. And yeah, then it was time for our meals. And let me tell you, those meals were fun. She brought 2 bags of chips, a pack of buns, thick bologna, mayo, and for dinner we had potatoes. I'm trying to think, what else did we have? Potatoes. Yeah, those were our meals. And did I bring some? I brought something to drink at least. Those were our meals for the weekend. Except, I will say, when her fiance and our other friend came up, we did have burgers that night, and boy, oh boy, were they scrumptious. I'm sorry, there's drilling happening all of a sudden upstairs. So for the burgers, though, what they decided to cook on wasn't a barbecue. It was one of those old, I guess, stone things that has like a metal plate on it that they just... The metal plate that you keep the metal plate on, and you keep everything that's been cooked on it the entire time. You just add more oil onto the thing. The thing with that also is when you're heating it, you just use your scraper to scrape off the excess built up oil, but you're also having to wipe off all the pine needles from the trees and scrape off all the dead bugs that are on it. So yeah, that sounds sanitary. So we're having the burgers. The burgers they got were burgers that were pre-stuffed with cheese, which sounds delicious, but they came out with a weird look of them, and they kind of were like super greasy. Doesn't help that the cooktop is super greasy as well from all the oil and buildup from years, I believe, of cooking. So then that's what we had for dinner. And the day before that, found out that her aunt and her aunt's boyfriend or husband, doesn't matter, were coming up and staying in the trailer. So we got to spend some time with them. And then her other uncle and her grandmother came up. So her other uncle, I don't know how old he was pretty old, was walking around without a shirt most of the time. So that was fun. He did not stay the night. I don't think. I can't remember. But let's just say that was my cabin weekend experience at my friend's cabin. And I slept the entire time in lawn sweatpants and a hoodie. And I made sure that it was zipped up and that my hoodie had my hood up, and I had AirPods in the entire time I was sleeping so that nothing could crawl in. And I tucked my socks over my sweatpants so that nothing could crawl in that way either. So that was my experience at this cabin. And I didn't get to shower the entire weekend, which was a longer weekend because it was, I think, Friday all day, Saturday, and Sunday all day. So let's just say the minute I got home, I took the best shower ever. And that was my experience with the cabin. Again, not saying that that's wrong and that's not how people should do it, but that's not how I like to do it. And let's just say I probably won't do that ever again. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!